Hello YouTube and welcome to another exciting Digital Magicians tutorial. This is going to be a complete character animator character setup. Let me know in the comments if y'all actually like these training series. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's actually free to do that. And you don't want to miss any of these training videos if you're actually big on animation and how to quickly get started with animation. So enough talking, let's just jump right into it. If you're gun-ho like me, you could just jump right in and start dropping your shapes in. Some people actually like to set the layers up first, like the structure of the layers, and build their layer structure. You'll see me actually do that later, but to me, it's actually not really important. I need to get some shapes laid down here first. I start with a square and I start shaping that out. This actually kind of reminds me of designing in 3D applications like Maya and Blender, where you start with like shapes, especially like a square, just to develop a head. Weird that we use cubes for head shapes, but you can see how shaping a cube can get you some of those like defined features like the chin and the cheeks and everything first. I'm just gonna go in and start making a hairline, curling it around, and getting it set up for the hair. It's probably best most of the time to just use general shapes until you actually are forced to use more defined shapes using a pen tool and structuring those shapes out like I had to do for the top of the hair. I'm gonna actually go back in and do the back part of the hair using a circle. You go with the shape, circle, and gonna just send it to the back for now. I'm actually just making these like layer arrangements. I'm not putting anything on layers yet, just to actually get everything organized first and get all of the shapes detailed. Now in Illustrator, if you don't know, you could actually edit all the shapes by just grabbing each individual point with the point selector tool, which is the white arrow to the left side. Out a general shape for the ears. I usually just put like I said, I use mostly shapes and cut them and shape them to fit my specific needs or parts of the face or head. And the human body is actually symmetrical. We work with the face here, so be sure to actually just duplicate anything else to the other side. Now we're going to be working on the eyes here in a couple of parts. So for character animator, we want our eyes to actually blink. So we have to work on this in several parts. We have to do the eyelids, the actual pupil, the actual eyeball itself, and the details can be attached to each parts of the eyes, like if you have eyelashes, anything like that. So now I'm just gonna use a little dot for the pupil. This is actually starting to come along pretty nice. Yeah, send the pupil to the back, so we have these little squinty eyes for the girl. The Jessica Rabbit look, you know? Anybody remember Jessica Rabbit from Roger Rabbit? I just actually just make the shapes and just move them, kind of reorganize them, arrange them, and set them up. Most of the time you'll be doing this in layers, organizing like what's in the front and the back based on layers, but I usually do all of this later. This is actually just a preference. You can pretty much, some people actually say to do all of this through the layers, organizing everything in layers, but like I said, I like to kind of just jump in and see what the character is going to look like, and then I start arranging the layers. And for the basis of this video too, I just want to actually also go through the layers itself and showing the naming conventions, because it's very important for character animator to see those layer names and how it's organized in those layers. And she's gonna get a cute little button nose. Don't want to look like an animal, so I'm just kind of shape this and kind of cut off some of the sides. Okay, so now I'm gonna work on a little nose ring for her. I'm using 2 circles and actually use the Pathfinder tool to kind of cut a hole in the circle. It actually got a lot easier now with this new version of Illustrator, where you can see the Pathfinder options right in your panel to the left or right, wherever you actually like your panel to be set up. And I'm gonna start the lips with just a circle, and I'm kind of just gonna split them and reshape them. If you're into 3D design, this is pretty much almost the same way you actually sculpt or model characters. The same aspect of how you use it, mostly pulling and pushing in points, with the exception of the Z space, which is the depth of the character you're gonna be working on, but it pretty much is the same concept. What's so nice about this training is this could actually get you ready for 3D modeling, because of the same concepts. Modeling and characters with shapes in 2D could give you an actual easier overview of how you model characters in 3D. So this is a good start-off point. Okay, now we're gonna start detailing the ear. Not gonna overcomplicate it too much. Sometimes in most of your animations, you do want to detail, but not too much detail to where it doesn't look right when the character is moving. Now I actually usually just set up color palettes. This is just a preference of mine. Usually I like to set up a couple of just colors that look like they might go well together in some squares off to the side, so I can reference those colors on the character later. I actually did know I wanted the character to have red hair. And one thing I did know is the blue is actually going to be for later down the line for the dress. Using that same core color, I actually create highlights and shadow colors based on those colors. Upper lip tends to sometimes be a little bit more shadowy than the bottom lip because there's a little overhang to the upper lip. So just want to check those colors there. Now is a good time for us to start kind of setting up those layers and kind of organizing this, because I'm going to start duplicating some of the more like complex parts of the model, which is like the eye. So we want to get these all in the proper naming conventions. Character Animator actually has a feature that automatically can detect items that actually require movement to them, just simply by an Illustrator, or if you're using Photoshop, our case is Illustrator, adding the plus sign right before the name of the item. And you can pretty much name the layer, the core part of the layer, like I actually have the eyeball is going to be on a separate layer, and all of the content of the eyeball is going to be all in that same layer, and the parts of the eye that's going to need to move, like the eyelid, the pupil, and the eyebrow, is all going to be part of the same layer. Sometimes in character animators, you might have weird behaviors, and believe it or not, that's sometimes due to the naming conventions. I actually had a case where I created a character, pretty much one that's actually part of the same animation I'm creating, and I actually had, it's like a plant character, and the plant character has leaves in the back of his head, and because I named the back leaves head back leaf, Character Animator saw the word head and attached that to the movement of the head and caused some weird behavior. So I would only say name the head part, the head, and kind of find different naming conventions, unless it's part of that same head group, different names. If you're actually using these, this illustration mainly for Adobe Animate, the naming conventions, besides I would guess the mouth, so much is not as important. Just keeping those layers separate is probably more important for Adobe Animate, but following these same practices is a good step for both Character Animate and Adobe Animate. Now, I actually duplicated the eye this time by actually just holding down Shift Alt and dragging my eye layer down to create the second layer. This is actually good because I don't actually have to duplicate all of those things separately inside the eyeball, I could just duplicate that layer with all of those same features, and then I just mirror it to actually create the second eye. And this is the same process you want to use for different parts of the body. That's why I decided now would be a good time to actually start those layer conventions for Character Animator. Yeah, and if you actually do need to pause the video to look at how I actually lay out some of those layers, yeah, please do. Actually, initially was gonna speed up this video. I mean, I did speed it up quite a bit because this would have been a really long video. But I actually didn't want to speed it up too much because I did want to let you see the process and for you to get a general idea how long these usually take. Most of the time, like designing the character can take me up to about maybe an hour and some change. More complex characters can take up to about 2 hours, maybe 3. And that's from the whole conceptualizing all the way to rigging them in Character Animator. But usually that is the base time of how long a character can take. Of course, you design the character in the beginning might take you a little bit longer, but the more you keep using this, the better you'll get at actually understanding the tools in both Illustrator and Character Animator. Just doing some text editing if I could actually spell correctly. So yeah, also had some issues also with some things I didn't change, with some things still left as left, right? That can cause issues in Character Animator, so make sure you check that. Anything could be changed later on if you actually see any issues. These are dynamically linked together, Illustrator and Character Animator. So any changes you will make will actually in Illustrator will actually update in Character Animator. So far we worked on the head of the character. The next we actually start on the body in the next episode. I think this probably was enough of a video. Yes, make sure you do subscribe for that next video. This is going to be a series. I'm hoping to probably be about maybe 3 to 4 episodes, depending on how long these is. But make sure you stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button, like if you like this video. That'll tell the YouTube algorithm that this is a good video. And thanks for watching.